back to the Wealthy Hills podcast, where we empower ladies to actually do what? Fulfill their full potential and build legacies and wealth. So today, I have with me somebody that I can bully, a guest. I'm going to get her to introduce herself in the next few seconds. But our topic for today is career versus calling, how to choose work that pays and fulfills you. So, hello, Sophie. Do you mind introducing yourself to our community members?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Sophie Awani-Gold. I'm a mom of 4. I'm the founder of Go With The Flow, thanks to the Wealthy Hills.
Yeah. This is one of our pet projects.
The Wealthy Hills visionary, like she'd be on your neck. What else about me? So many things. Oh, I love football. I support Liverpool.
Ooh, that club. They're walking alone this year, 2026.
No, not a chance.
Okay.
We will never, emphasis on the never walk alone. So
I'll ask you, in summer 2026, did they not walk alone?
Okay, we'll see then. Okay. What else about me? I love singing actually. I recently got into spoken word, so I'm enjoying that, and that's it.
Okay.
Me being humble.
Ooh. Own it, girl. That's one of the things you actually say. Own it. Self-awareness, own who you are. So tell me, right, a bit about your journey. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
How your journey has evolved, career-wise, education-wise, business-wise.
Okay, so I'll go back to the very beginning. As a child, as a girl, I remember I loved sports. I loved fashion, actually designing outfits, and I loved being on stage. So life happens and you move on. So I got in sciences. I was very good in school. I have to be honest. I was very good in school. I was in sciences and I was doing well. And everyone used to call me doctor. But somewhere in my head, I was like, I don't think we're doing that. But I didn't say anything to anyone. You just kind of go with the flow. So, okay, now we're in Ireland and I got into biosciences. I was thinking, I love them watching, what's it called? CSI. So I was thinking, okay, I'll be a forensic person and all that. And then, the way you pivot. And then I got into fashion, got married, had kids, kind of stalled in the career path. But I kept designing, to be honest. I kept drawing, I kept designing, I kept doing what I was doing. And then fast forward, I was in retail for some time, moved on from retail, and then I got into STEM. So I use Lego bricks. My company uses bricks to do what's called STEM, and we actually make different things. And I actually found that fulfilling. But I realized that when I go to the classes and I come back, I feel drained. I don't know why. But I noticed that. And then I met my wonderful sister here, and we got talking and we're doing stuff. And I was doing the STEM with the boys. So
when she means the boys, she means my twin boys. I've got twin boys. They're 12-year-old, and she used to work with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the boys they're amazing. I love working with them. I've always worked with them, even in church.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Somehow we've always been in each other's lives, but our friendship or our sisterhood kind of cemented in the last 2-3 years, and it's been amazing. So I got this idea to start a menstrual wellness box, and fortunately and unfortunately, I told her about it, and then
this is unfortunately. Should I take offense?
And she's been every day. I'm getting texts, updates, and I'm trying. So that's where I am now. Thanks to Wealthy Hills, we're launching in November.
Yay, that's true. So, in your own words, because I know that you've been through a journey and you've kind of pivoted a lot.
Yes.
And you are where you are now. It's different from where you thought you were going to be.
Yes.
Could you define the difference between what a career is and what a calling is?
Ooh, that's a good
And there's
one.
a reason I'm asking you for that question, because to be honest, right? So for a lot of us, not even only women anyway, but particularly women, we get thrown into careers based on our circumstances, depending on what phase you are in life. And then everyone generally, both men and women as well, sometimes end up in a job or a career based on their family situation, their needs, and the things that they really enjoy doing, or like I like to say, what they've been called to do, they pack it aside because responsibilities happen. Very few people in life have the ability to have a job or work in a career that is also their calling or something that they've been called to be. For some of us, we venture into it later in life. And then for some people, they take the plunge, but some people never really get there, really, to be honest. So for me, what does career versus calling? How would you define it?
Oh, that's a good one. Career versus calling. One thing I've noticed, so I'll talk generally, then I'll come back to myself. So one thing I've noticed with people is if you have like a doting parent or if you have someone, they kind of shape the career that you go for. They don't really focus on your calling. But some people are fortunate or blessed to have a family or parents that can actually see what that child is really good at and kind of tailor it. So their calling and their career kind of merge together. So for me, I realize that my calling is working with people, and the words that I speak to people, I am conscious about it. So obviously, working in retail, I would say it kind of gave me the opportunity, because there are times that I remember one lady, she came and she brought all the things back and she was frantic, and I was able to just talk to her and calm her down. So I enjoyed it. So I love speaking to people. But then having a career that, career and calling, that's a whole different thing for a lot of people, like you said, because of their circumstances. What I would advise or what I would say to people is, while you're doing your career, kind of on the side, make sure that you're working on your calling. All the time, make sure that you're working on your calling. Because if I go back when I was doing the fashion and being on the stage and singing and doing everything, I'm kind of now coming back into that. So yes, you pivot in the middle, but find a way that you don't stop doing your calling until your calling becomes your career.
So it's funny that you actually say that. So I'm going to say this here. My first official book is obviously launching this year. It's kind of currently with the publisher. And one of the things as I started writing, was how I obviously had to go back into my childhood and say, okay, what were the things that I wanted to be as a child, or what were my key strengths and key talents as a child? And when I started pinpointing them, I was like, it's funny how I've actually come full circle.
Yes.
And I suppose to parents as well is, you can't, and I'm going to say this very cautiously, you really cannot stop who your child is supposed to be.
Yes.
Eventually, they would find their way back. As a Christian, so the Bible says that the gifts of God are without repentance, right? The things that you're called to be eventually become
Your career.
they begin to show. And I think for those of us that have been privileged to work maybe in church, you find it out. And this is one thing that I think they need to start mentioning in church. So a lot of us have careers and we're working like in the secular world, but then in church, we're serving. In serving, we find ourselves serving in the places that are the areas of our calling, where our talents or our giftings actually shine forth. Now, it might be different from what you actually do at work, but it actually gives you the ability to understand who you are or who you've been designed to be by actually voluntarily serving in church. And then if you are maybe sensitive enough, those things begin to come together. In writing part of my story in the book that I read, I found out, okay, that everything that you've ever done in church voluntarily has now come full circle into becoming who you are. I mean, as a business coach, as a mentor, I'm a finance person. A lot of those things actually shine through and make me the best of who I am in my kind of like my chosen career. So, I know you're a mother of 4. So my next question, you have 4 children, 3 boys and a girl.
Yes.
So how have you balanced kind of like, and I know you said you took a break, obviously to kind of like raise the children. So how did you balance, okay, before I even ask you this question, what was your mindset like when you took that break to actually focus on the children? Because I know for a lot of women, right, and no offense, some women take time out because them and their husband decided, okay, or them and the partner was like, you know what, you should take time out and take care of the children. And it doesn't necessarily go down well with them, but they think that they're doing a very good service. But then what they're going through is totally something different.
That's true.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So when I talk to people, I always say that, you know what, you know yourself, be very self-aware. If it goes down well with you, fine. If it's something that you know you're struggling with mentally, emotionally, and then it begins to impact your relationship with your husband or your children and everything, then I think it's better becoming resentful, you really should be having a communication and really not do it, because at the end of the day, these children, they will grow up and they leave home. They will be funny enough. The children we are raising now, you cannot emotionally manipulate them.
No, zero chill.
So we kind of like need to be really careful. So for me, before, the question I wanted to ask was, how did you manage to balance like motherhood, career, purpose, and then going back? I mean to start building your own business. But before you answer that question, I wanted to ask how you felt during those years that you took time out to kind of like take care of the children.
Well, I have to say, maybe I'm just one of those people that are a little bit different. I saw motherhood as work. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing in this season. I don't know, maybe because like my parents were not together. I was raised by my my auntie and her husband. It was wonderful. Home was wonderful. It was great. But I still felt that there could have been more. So I decided that, that when I have my children, I want to do it a little bit different. I want to be able to be there, like be the person, their go-to person. I know I'm not God, but at least in the place of God at that moment. So for me, being at home and being with my children was amazing. I cannot lie about that. I found it amazing. The cooking, not so much. The cleaning, maybe.
You don't like to cook. Let's not lie here, because I will call you out.
But being at home with the children is amazing to me, because they're still growing. It's amazing to me. I love being with them. I love playing with them. I actually get dopamine release. I know they always say dads get the serotonin. No, when I'm playing with my children, I feel joyful. I feel happy. So that's it for me.
Okay, so now back to the question.
Yes.
Yeah. So going back into the workforce, I know you're trying to build a business. So how have you been able to balance like motherhood, career, purpose?
That's a good one. So I realized that it's give and take. And I talk to my children. Obviously, when they were younger, there's no conversation to be had. But now that they're a bit grown, if I have to do something and I can't be there for them, prior to that, I will talk to them and say, okay, I need to go. Yes, I need to go and do this, and I won't be available to do this. And you know that I have done this. And so I put things in place to have that conversation with them, because I understand mom guilt, but I don't think I feel I have mom guilt, because when the times that I'm there, I am fully there. Like, I'm not average.
100%
Yeah,
attention.
there are times you tell them to have a bit of cereal. Like, I can't be cooking every day.
Don't worry, I'm like that as well. Ain't nobody judging nobody here.
So it's a judgment-free zone. But I try to be as available as I can humanly be. So that's it for me. Yeah.
So now that you've decided to step back, obviously, into career,
Yes,
or calling, as we were said, how has the journey been for you? Because as you know, a lot of our community members are either trying to start a business, either trying to switch from a 9 to 5 into building their business. So take them through your journey as somebody that also has like 4 kids at home.
Yes.
And how that has been.
Okay, for me, what I realized, that include them in the journey if they can understand. It's different when they're toddlers or babies. You cannot really include them in that conversation. But if you can include them in the journey, especially if you're building a business, because what you're doing is you're teaching them how to build a business.
So we're getting into building legacies now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's really important to include them. Like with the Go With The Flow box, I spoke to Elizabeth about everything. Even I had other girls' opinions. I remember the Next Gen Boss that we did. I even brought it. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So Next Gen Boss is a youth entrepreneurship program.
Yes.
that is run by the Wealthy Hills. And last summer's edition, she actually brought in the box to get kind of like the opinions of 13. No, actually, we had an 11-year-old in the room.
Yes.
Till 18
Boys
years old,
and
boys
girls.
and girls, to get their
Yes.
opinion on the box and how we could actually improve it. Yeah.
Yes.
So go on.
So include them as much as you can. Yes, there'll be times that there are some things you cannot include them on everything, but as much as you can, include them. And the pivoting, keep talking. Just keep that line of communication open with your family, with your children, whoever that you need, that needs to know what you're doing. Let them know. And I believe that, like what you said, you're building a legacy, because when it's time for them to do theirs, they remember, because the things that the children see you do, they will always remember than the things that you say to them. So it's really important to keep that.
Actually, yeah, I can relate to that. And I know that, okay, so your daughter is she's artistic anyway, yes. And you have a son who is very good with editing videos and everything. So how
Yes.
have they impacted your journey?
Isaac
And
does all the editing.
I want honest answers in terms of how have they criticized. Go on.
So there was a day I spent like, I'm sure I spent the whole day editing. So Isaac came back from school and I was like, can you help me? He was done in 30 minutes.
And you spend the whole day doing it. You see why we need to get the next generation involved in these things.
But when we were growing up and doing things for our parents, we didn't charge them. Well, we're not in a position to charge them. These ones are charging me money.
Yeah, so it's so funny enough, right? So we are obviously existing in a different generation, but I think myself and yourself have had this conversation before where I talk about if we are going to build the next generation and if we're going to, like we talk about building legacies, talked about creating wealth, if we're going to teach them how to create wealth, it starts from when they're young.
Yes.
If they don't understand self-value, if they don't understand how valuable their time is, if they don't understand that they can actually charge for their time.
Yes.
So it brings us back to one of the things that when I work with women that they find very, very difficult to do, which is to charge for their time, especially those that are going into the service industry. And that's because growing up, we're used to doing service for free. Okay. So it becomes very, very difficult, especially women that are... So for products, I find that with products, it's easy for people to charge products because they've gone out and they've bought something. So they know that I need to get that money back. Okay. But when it comes to people that are in the service industry, it's your time. And because as women, we've been brought up to say that when you're giving your time, you have to be selfless, you have to be this. It becomes very, very difficult. Okay. One of the things I want my children to learn is that time is currency.
It is.
Do you understand? So you need to charge people for your time. My children do things for me and they get paid. Okay. Now, sometimes I don't pay them in cash. It might be
things.
Yeah, barter. Yes, so for instance, when one of my sons built the website for Next Gen buses, he wanted to upgrade his gaming computer. So they sent me Amazon links to parts that he wanted to buy. Brilliant. So that was the barter at the time.
System. That makes sense.
And then obviously Wealthy Hills just had a brunch and one of my sons designed all the tote bags.
Ooh, that was fantastic.
And the barter was I was going to contribute to his next scooter.
Okay.
I mean, he got it in cash, but he had to make part of the money and I also gave him part of the money. But I see it beyond the money. It's teaching them that you actually can charge for your time. Yeah. And for women as well, the biggest one is family and friends. And I was watching something today. I think it was Trisha Blees, and she was saying that when family and friends say they support you, when you say you should support your family and friends, stop asking for discount because if you're going to hire that person outside, hire somebody else outside, you're going to be paying full price.
Yes.
Don't give that spiel about I am supporting you and then you're asking that person for free or for a discount. Yeah. But the truth is this. When it comes to family and friends as well, there's an emotional guilt that happens.
There is.
And I want to be able to teach my children that if you can charge mommy and daddy, then you can charge anybody. But it starts from home. Do you understand? There's I always say to them, look, you can discount it if you want, but know that you feel free. Do you understand? For your time, basically.
At least get something off it.
Yeah. So, which comes to my next question, right? And I know that you're a woman of many talents because we've had this discussion, right? So, defining your calling. So, when did you first discover what you were supposed to be doing? Beyond the biosciences, beyond all of that.
When did I first discover? To be honest, if I look back as a child, I always knew that I loved creating, to be honest. Whether I was singing, dancing, whatever it was, I've always been a creative. But life happened and then
happened.
and then you kind of pivot. But I would say I've been coming back to, like I said, I've been drawing and you know what happened to me? See the Ashoke that is raining now. I would say like 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, if not more, I got that idea. Because I was watching sometime, the person was saying that, oh, Ashoke might be the next jeans. And now it is. I'm like, I should have done that. So somewhere in my head, but I didn't stop creating. I kept creating. So I would say it's kind of solidified in the last, will I say, 2-3 years. Because what happened to me was, like I said, my husband has always been, you have so much in you, you need to be doing more. And that time I'm raising kids, I'm like, I can't juggle all these things. So, but he kept on. And then Wealthy Heals, visually, she happened. So I said, oh, I have all this idea. And she was like, okay, I have someone that can do this. And I was like, that means these things are actually going to come to life.
Yeah, so one of the things that community helps, and this is something that a lot of women struggle with, is networking, community, asking for favor, all those kind of things kind of like come together, right? So it's very important that as a woman or as whether you're in career or in business, that you're joining the right communities, you're building out the right network, because when you can only go far if you try and build in isolation.
True.
But then when you try and build with a community, with people together, it becomes easier. So I suppose what you're saying there is how community has helped you get to your destination quicker. So obviously when you opened up about this is what I want to do. Now a lot of us suffer in isolation.
Yes.
A lot of us want to do things and we're like, oh my God, how am I going to get all of this done? Especially when you're starting a business.
True.
Truth is, what we're saying is, whoever's listening to us, is don't do it in isolation.
Yes.
Find a community that you can join. Reach out to your network. My husband used to say something to me. He was like, do you know that half the time the people that you need to get this thing done are on your phone? You just need to go through the contacts. Somebody will know somebody will know somebody will know somebody. And I think that as I've stepped out in that, I have actually seen that happen. And I've actually seen that happen because sometimes people ring me, I'm like, oh, do you know somebody that can do X, Y, Z? And I'm like, I actually don't know someone, but let me make a few calls. I might find, and then by making a few calls, we might find someone. And I know that with you, your go with the flow was easier because
yes, it was.
Your pillowcases, I already had some. Like my children have a brand that has pillowcases anyway, so it was very easy and all of that. So what we're saying is, one of the things that we preach is that in creating wealth, in building legacies, you can't do it in isolation. You need to build the right network. You need to find your tribe, and you kind of like need to find your community.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Because someone is watching us and they're thinking that, oh, maybe they've tried to build a community, but the community became principality and powers.
Toxic.
So, or they shared an idea with someone and then someone took it and ran with it and made it their own. So now the person is thinking that, is it better to be in isolation? Like, how do you really find your community?
So the truth is this, right? As long as we are on this earth, and I think it's something that I've had to learn, you're going to have to always step out in trust. And I always say to people that if somebody does something that is a breach of trust, and I know it's very difficult, right? It's not on you, it's on that person.
Sure.
That is number one. You do yourself a disjustice if because of you've had bad experiences.
Okay.
Don't step out because of bad experience, because then you're not moving forward. The person that half the time sometimes the people that have wronged you, they've already moved on. They don't even remember.
Yeah.
Right? They don't actually remember. So you always have to keep putting yourself out there. And I know it can be hard. And the simple truth is you always have to keep putting yourself out there. Now, in people stealing your idea, the truth about ideas is ideas are 1 and 10 pence. I always say to people, is in the implementation that we know the difference.
Yeah.
So if you discuss an idea with someone and the person kind of like, you feel the person has selling the idea to somebody, the person can never do it the way you're going to do it because the person is not you.
Okay.
And when you discuss an idea with somebody, you never give the person, you're not discussing the full blueprint.
Okay.
And even if you give the person the blueprint, the person can never implement it like you.
Okay.
So sometimes the unique selling point is not even in the idea.
It's you.
Is you. Okay. And is how you implement it. Do you understand? It's why we have, when you go to the shop to buy butter, there's 1,000,001 butters that you have to choose from. You decide which one you want to buy.
That's true.
Do you understand?
So your brand,
water.
So you are the brand.
Do you know how many types of water is out there? But some people will travel. Some people would buy water based on cost of water. Yeah. Some people will buy water based on the brand of water. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. I'm a Pepsi person.
I'm a Coke person.
I know a lot of people are Coke people, but I prefer the taste of Pepsi to Coke, to be honest with you. Do you understand? So that is kind of like ongoing.
Yes.
So you always need to remember that people can steal your idea, but at the end of the day, how you implement it is, and that's why you see that they'll say market is saturated, but something springs out within that same market and everybody wants it. Yeah. What is the unique selling point? There's always going to be a unique selling point. If it's not in the product itself, it's in the service that people get It's in the brand storytelling. Do you understand?
That's
Now,
true.
brand storytelling is also something that is very, very powerful. Do you understand? That brand storytelling, you cannot underestimate the power of storytelling. And that is why you would see a brand, what do they call it that my daughter started buying now? Lululemon.
The gym wear.
The gym wear. Please, what's the difference in that Lululemon gym and everything that's always been in the market?
That's true.
Sometimes it's in the advertising and the marketing, the brand
Yeah.
storytelling, and all of that behind it.
Okay.
And that is why you have to study the market, study what makes one brand successful over the other.
Okay.
And that is something that we as women, as well as we begin to build, even in a career, like building your own personal brand has become really, really important.
It has, I know.
Like the higher you go. So the reason why somebody else will get headhunted to be a CEO and not another person, even though when you look at them on paper, they have the same technical skills. It's the story.
Okay.
So brand storytelling also now becomes really, really important. So that you discuss your idea with someone and somebody steals it doesn't mean that you still can't implement that idea. So don't wallow in self-pity or in hurt, as they say, and all of that, because that person has moved on, person has gone to do it, and then you're there, and then you need to move on. You can still go on and implement. Actually, the biggest success and the biggest revenge would be you implementing that same idea and becoming a lot more successful than that person.
Okay. So you've heard it on Wealthy Hills.
How has your faith or your personal values guided your career decisions?
Okay, that's an amazing one. Okay, so I will use Go With The Flow as an example. So early this year, I remember I was in class and I was doing women, gender and social justice in UCD. And I was sitting there and I can say for a fact, I heard the whisper, go with the flow. In my head, I was thinking, what does that mean? So my teacher was talking away and I found that I started drawing cushions with different words on it, go with the flow. There was one I did, neurodivergent. I did all kinds of things. So I started sending them to her. And like I said, to be honest, the go with the flow thing is not something that I can say that I thought of myself. Heaven literally whispered to me, go and do this. So I always say to people that when God gave Noah to build an ark, he didn't just tell him to go. He gave him the blueprint. Sit until, and I would say to Christians, don't seek God because you want an idea. Your job is to have a relationship with God. When it's time for the idea, God will always tell you. So make sure that, and when God gives you an instruction, make sure that you do. I will say it over and over again. Make sure that you do it. The people that need to be around you for that is like the go with the flow thing. I will still keep going back to it. My husband was part of the people. Wealthy Hills Visionary Stella was amazing with it, and our producer here, so the people that I needed somehow they were drawn to me. Why? Because God already put them there. So if God says go ahead and do something, the things that you need, even the money. When he gave me the idea in my head, I was thinking, I'm not sure I have the finance to do this. Today, the box is alive. I'm just grateful to God. So I will say to you, as a child of God, as a Christian, your job is to seek God. You see the ideas. When he gives you, make sure, like I'm pulling your ear just in case, make sure you implement it. Because the people that God will put around you, you'll be amazed at how it will go.
Which brings me to my next question, right? The compromise is always between passion and paycheck. Do you understand? So for a lot of us, and I've been there as well, and the compromise is, there's always that concern between responsibilities, paycheck, and passion.
Yes.
So what would you say to women who are struggling to choose between passion and paycheck?
Okay. Back to it, because our faith is, Wealthy Hills podcast or Wealthy Hills Vision is faith-based as well. It's God-based. That's the word I would say. So I would say that if you can trust your parents or trust your friend, like, what's your excuse that you can't trust God? Imagine God brought you to this earth and there was already oxygen, like at least the basic things that you need is already provided for you. I was talking to our producer just before we started this and we were talking about trust. Like, do we really trust God? Most of the time we say we do, but our actions say otherwise. Yes.
So our listeners are not only faith-based.
Yes.
So what would you say to people that are not faith-based? to choose between passion and paycheck, because it's the genuine struggle.
It is. To be honest, it really is between passion and paycheck. So I would say, while you're getting your paycheck, build your passion on the side. That thing that you like, that you know that you can do for free. Like if they wake you up in the morning, you know you're ready to go. Make sure that you're doing it on the side. And for those of you that your passion and paycheck are already together, well, kudos to you. Just keep building.
So it's what I hear is planning. So
Yes.
if your passion and your paycheck at the moment, if you have to choose and you've chosen your paycheck, it's to begin to build your passion on the
Yes.
side, so that at some point your passion begins to pay you, and
does.
then your paycheck, you can kind of like step away from what it is that you're just doing just for your paycheck, and then step fully into your passion, basically. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Funny enough, I was reading a book on my way in here, Diary of a CEO, and he says something similar. Now, he said something very profound. He said that he was talking about the 5 buckets, and he said you have to fill your 5 buckets in the right order. So the first one being your skill, which is kind of like your knowledge, and then also it was like, what you do with your skill, which is your knowledge is the first one, and then the second one is your skill, and then the third one is kind of like your resources. Then I think he said the next one is your network. I can't remember what the 5th one is, but he was saying that you have to fill it in the right way. So he gave an example of a guy that used to work for him, and the guy had come to him and said that somewhere that he said the guy was like a low-level staff, but the guy came to him and said somebody offered him a job as a CEO, and at first he thought the guy was lying, but he found out the guy was actually telling the truth. But he in his mind was like, oh my god, you're not ready for that. He was like, okay, I'll just let you go. And it was like a year later, the company had folded up. The company the guy moved to, the company was in the news for like bad management practices, and because the guy chose a paycheck, he said, over where he was in life. Do you understand?
Okay.
And because it just felt like you were not ready for that.
Sure.
At that particular point, that your skills and your knowledge kind of like don't match.
They don't.
But you were choosing a paycheck, and he was like, for him, he always advises people to choose what is fueling their purpose or fueling their future over a paycheck at a particular point in time, because at some point everything would align. You eventually get that big paycheck when like those things begin to align. But I know it's difficult because depending on where you find yourself in life, responsibilities and everything will tell you otherwise.
Yes.
That is actually true. But I also have examples of when I've chosen a paycheck over a lot of things, and it ends up in a heartbreak. I mean,
it does.
It does.
It really does. Yeah.
So, So I have some questions here. I actually had to write these ones down.
Go on.
So, have you ever had to make a difficult decision to walk away from something secure in order to pursue your calling?
Ooh, yes. Yes.
Which kind of like is a build on what we just exactly.
Yes. So when I was doing the retail, at some point, to be honest, I was asked to become like a supervisor, and then you go on to be a manager. And the truth is, for you to be a supervisor, you have to be doing like crazy hours. And my children were young, so I was like, no. But I asked them, I said, if you want a part-time supervisor, I can take on that role. But I said to them, look, my children only grew up once. True. Like, you don't get to do it again.
My children are all teenagers now.
That's it. You don't time gone. Imagine, like, you don't get to do it again. Once they're grown forever. So, yes, I had to turn down, like, more money for, life stuff.
How did you feel? Honestly.
I didn't regret it. To be honest, like I said, I'm just one of those people, like, I love motherhood.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to be honest. I do love motherhood. I love having children around. I just find it fulfilling. But so I would take that over money. And the feeling, I don't know.
Is it because you had your children young? Because let's see one. Is it because you had your children young? Because people have their children at different stages in life.
That's another point.
And then sometimes it's harder. The older you have your children, depending on if you've built a career earlier or not. So I know women that delayed having children because they wanted to build their career first. But I also know women that, honestly, it wasn't like they had their children late because they were building their career. So money versus responsibility is a big thing for them. So it's difficult. So they have to find a way to kind of like juggle it.
Yes.
So, what would you say?
So what would I
Because
say?
these are like real things that women struggle with,
Yes.
women that listen to us.
To
I mean,
be
we talk
honest,
about empowering ladies, building wealth, creating legacies, but I mean, people like
they're
it's a
trying
good,
to,
yeah,
yes, yeah.
exactly.
So to be honest, life is messy. And I think for a lot of us, we are trying to hold on to the person that we thought that we would be. So for
Yep.
me, I always thought that by 30, I'll be accomplished and I'll have this high powered job. Like that was what was going on in my head. But I look at my personality and I think that if I became accomplished by 30 or somewhere in my 30s, I don't know if I would have gotten married, to be honest, because I'm the kind of person that I can be very linear. Like it has to be this way, this way. And now you're working a high powered job and you're all this way. And then you get home and there's like toddlers running around. Like you just can't. So because of the kind, so you have to kind of be able to pivot. I know it's hard. It's really hard because you have this idea of this is the woman that I'm supposed to be, or this is the person that I'm supposed to be, and things are not going that way. But this is the season you're in.
So basically, adaptability is very
Yes,
important
you
as a
have
woman
to.
that is trying to.
You have to. So whenever, like, you might have your kids young, but as long as you're not content on the inside, you're going to be resentful somehow.
So funny enough, for this season, we've had women of different ages, including those that are over 50. We had someone who has pivoted throughout her life,
Yeah.
who started a new career in her late 40s, went on to do something else, and she's doing fantastically well.
That's it.
She recently just launched the business at the age of 53. So
That's it.
I suppose what we're trying to say to that age doesn't really matter as long as you are willing to put in the work
Yes.
at whatever phase that you. So it's more like enjoy the phase that you're in,
Yes.
enjoy the
At least
seasons that
try
you're in,
to-
try
yes,
to,
and be
and
content
then
with it.
you map out.
Yes, that's the thing. Like have a plan, but don't be rigid with your plan. Like don't say by 35 I have to be this and this and this.
Funny enough,
Sometimes it doesn't work
I
like
can't remember
that.
the name of the lady. She's a writer, but apparently the first book that she wrote that became successful was after she retired at the age of 65.
You see what I mean?
Do you understand? As
So-
in, I was like, oh my god, like so, like but when she retired, having spent a whole life working to put her children through school and everything, she finally decided like what was that thing, and then she started writing. And she actually became a very successful writer, and like her writings were actually turned into plays and everything. So I suppose
You can be successful at any age, but the truth is you have to know that life happens. Imagine somebody that is successful at 30 and maybe they have a strong parental background and something happens, the parents die. Like that's going to shake the person to the foundations, to the core. Like how do they go on? What do they need to do? So if sometimes you even need to grieve the person that you thought you would be and let that go. Okay, what can I do where I am now? What is my passion? What do I like? Okay, I'm doing my paycheck job. Yes. But if you are able to pivot and adapt and have a plan that this is what I would like to be, and this is who, okay, what can I do? What can I put in place bit by bit by bit? You'll be able to, be content on the inside and don't use other people's life to judge yourself.
oh yeah, I mean comparison is the
it's
biggest
killing-
joy stealer that is
it
there
is
is, to
killing
be
people.
honest.
Like,
Because you don't
people
even
are
know their full story.
packaging.
You don't even know their full story.
Thank you.
Anyway, so stop comparing yourself.
That's it. Yeah.
So as a mother with 4 children,
Yes.
can you walk me through how you're helping your next generation, which is your children, to find purpose, understand who they are?
Okay. So what I do is I take time to like, even though like I'm at home with them all the time, I take time to study them. So the eldest, like I said, is really good with editing since he was young. Because I remember one day, like maybe it was 3 months, we went to the hospital. They had to draw blood. And the nurse was already getting frantic and he was already getting agitated. And I just put the phone like in front of him. The nurse was like, I've never seen this happen before. At, when I say 2, he was able to use videos as my, what's it called? Phone settings, the thing you put. I'm not sure I know how to do that till now. I know how to change my phone screen, but that's the best I can do. So take time out to study your children and kind of guide them because it is so important. Some children will change with time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They will
yeah.
change, but there's some that you will know that this passion, okay, how can I help this child? And don't don't turn it into work, because children will they'll get frustrated.
Yeah.
Don't turn it into a whole 4-year plan.
4-year plan
like,
and
stop
everything.
that.
Yeah, you just need to allow them to enjoy, because they're still
Yes.
children anyway. And for them, everything is about fun and enjoying the moment. So the moment it starts becoming another, almost like school,
Yes.
they begin to lose interest and they
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
kick against
They
it.
do. They do.
However, we also need to help them build that whole, what's the
Yes.
word? Work ethics that
Yes.
are actually, because
Build the legacy, basically.
yeah, exactly, the work ethics. I know you have 4 of them, so
Yes.
that's one.
Yeah.
Number 2.
So the other thing is, what would I say? Spend time with them. I would honestly say spend time with them. So that thing that they like doing, do it with them.
Sure, yes.
Do it, even if you don't know how to do it. Like, okay, just ask, so how are you doing this? What do you think? Or bring something that is similar. How would you change this? So now you are giving them something to do, but in a fun way. That kind of way. So
like when I give my children things to do, like the artists, I don't give them, I don't give them deadlines.
Yes,
so like
yes.
when I had Ifeolu working on the tote bags, honestly, we were on it for like 2 months.
imagine that.
We were on it for 2 months, yeah, because I already knew that if I give him like a strict deadline, he's just gonna. He will tell you, "Mommy, you know what?
I can't.
I can't. I'm not doing this and everything." So really and truly, I allowed him to do it in his own time, knowing that, you know what, we had 2 months to kind of like get there.
Yeah.
So just keep going. At the moment, he wants to design, so he does jujitsu.
Oh, fantastic.
And he wants to design his own, they call it rash guard and everything.
Okay.
He's been painting that thing for the past 3 or 4 months. I won't lie to you. Today I saw that thing in my living room. I'm like, when are you going to finish this? I said,
like...
Mommy, I'm going to finish it today. And like, you've been saying that for like months, but I just kind of like walked away from it, really.
Yes.
But I understand kind of like what you're saying. So, your new baby, go with the flow. So tell
That's
us
the word, new baby.
tell us about it, and what are your future plans for Go With The Flow?
Okay, so Go With The Flow is a menstrual wellness box. I got the idea, like I said, in class one day. And also I was thinking of my daughter, because I noticed that like the hormones were kicking in, her body was changing. Like, I wanted to remove shame, because for most of us, it's the whole conversation of, now you started your period, don't touch boys, here's a tampon, here's a pad, and that's it. So I wanted something to help create a conversation even before the period comes. So it has a book called Tender, Empowered Resilience inside. It has a cushion cover. It's fun. It's playful. It's amazing. Like the girl will love it. I have a journal. So help her to write down her feelings, what she ate, how she's feeling today. She can understand it. And what's the last thing? Period certificate. Because this is something that most women do for over 40. I believe we deserve a certificate. Like, we deserve all the flowers and the chocolate just for that. So that's what Go With The Flow is really about, to create conversations about period and make it fun and celebratory. Very important. Yes.
So I know you haven't officially launched, but I know quite a few people have seen it.
Yes.
Including adults. What has been their reaction or kind of like to it, or how has it been?
It's always the same thing. I wish I had this when I was younger. And I realize even as grown women, sometimes we don't even know what's going on in our bodies.
True.
That's the whole point of, especially the book, for you to be able to understand how your hormone pivots. Like we were talking about, it changes. If your hormone can adapt and change, like, we should be able to do that as well.
So, what kind of legacy would you like to leave for your children?
Wow. For me, it's more about words. You know that you have that inner voice. I want them to be able to hear my voice cheering them on, like, what will my mom say? What will my mom do? That's money, yes, because I know, like, you can always make money, but there are some things that you can change. I want to be that inner voice that they can hear. And my mom said, just try. Even if it doesn't go right,
True. Just
make an effort, try. So I want to be that voice that's cheering them on. And as many people as hear my voice. So that's what I want, yes.
So I have only 2 questions left for you. So our second to the last question is, what advice would you give to women in their 30s or 40s who feel stuck in a career that pays well but doesn't fulfill them? Because that is a real thing.
So find your passion. Find that thing. I know I was talking to a lady recently, and she's an IT person. But you won't believe that she's a theater person as well.
Yeah, I love when I hear stories like that.
She's
like,
a theater, like she does spoken word, she does rap. I was like,
yeah,
you know what? Like,
girl.
she's an IT programmer, and she said she loves Lego. So we met on what's it called? I think on Monday. On Friday, she sent me a message that she got an offer from Lego to
Oh,
do IT with them. Like,
that is like your part. Like what is like? Do you as in? Oh my god!
like it comes
It
full
comes
circle.
full circle. Yeah.
So if you're stuck in a job, first, don't compare yourself to anybody. Like, this person at this age was, leave the comparison. Where am I now? And what can I do to get to
Yeah, I
where
think
I
it's
want
that
to
doing
be?
that work, doing research, and doing the work that it requires you to become unstuck.
Yes.
And sometimes I know it is a lot of work, but you
It
need.
is.
I think you owe it to yourself
If
to
you're
kind of like
putting all
put in
that
that
effort
work.
into your 9 to 5, put it into yourself
Yeah,
as
and
well.
then stop complaining and basically just move. You're not a tree.
Yes.
Like, it's funny how that thing is so true that if you don't like where you are, like, move. You're not a tree.
Yes.
Like, it sounds very simplistic, but it's actually what you need.
It is.
It's actually what you need to.
It really
It's
is.
actually what you need to do, as in whether you like it or not. It's what you need to do. Just kind of like move.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it's hard.
It is hard. So first, find a way to find peace inside, because if your insides are not peaceful, it will reflect on your outside. So find a way to find peace, and even if it's by making a plan or journaling, whatever you need to do it. And a lot of women, like you said, like the woman that retired in their 50s and 60s, are more successful than the younger women.
Yeah, because to be honest, they've
They've
seen life,
lived
they've
the-
been through it all.
Thank you.
They're not. What's the
Like,
word
they
now?
have zero
No
children.
more packaging. They're not.
Nothing.
I mean,
They
if
are-
you are 50 and you're 60 and you're still trying to impress the next person, then there's a problem somewhere. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I actually feel that it's easier for women in their 50s and 60s if they cop on that it's not too late to actually build wealth.
Yes.
And actually
Yes.
begin to build legacies, because at
Yes.
that point in time, like you don't care anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
it.
really like
You're
you
not
really-
impressing anybody.
You're not
anymore.
impressing anybody. You really,
That's it.
you really don't care. And one of the things I've actually enjoyed about this season, season 2, and I was actually, I mean, I'm happy that my producer actually went for it, because I was like, I want to go through generations and
Yes.
is talking to different people. I mean, we've spoken to 13-year-olds, we've spoken to 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
We're going to speak to a 15-year-old to see what purpose, career, wealth, legacy building through their own eyes. And then the oldest we've had is a 50-something-year-old woman as well.
Okay.
And it's been funny to
Maybe
see.
next season we'll have 60s, 70s. We need them.
My
We
producer
really
has to go
need
and
them.
look. She has to go and look for me.
We need
To be honest,
them.
but
We need their
I have
wisdom.
actually,
We need their,
like,
yes.
I've really, really enjoyed. I mean, this season compared to season 1. I mean, season 1 was great, but season 2 is how much I've also learned.
Yes.
And I just started reading Diary of a CEO, and I can understand where he's coming from, because he talked about all the people that he got the opportunity to interview before he pens Diary of a CEO, and
Yes.
it's bringing the wealth of experience, of knowledge, of people that you meet
Yes.
along the way. It kind of like enriches your own life, and it also teaches you kind of like a lot.
It does.
Now, if you could give one piece of wisdom about choosing purpose-driven work, and this is where we're going to end on, what would it be?
One piece of advice.
One
Purpose-driven work. I would say find something. That's a good one. A lot of things are circling in my mind. I'm trying to bring them all together. The first thing that comes to my mind is volunteer first.
Yeah, to understand.
Volunteer first, because if you go at it with the money mindset and it doesn't pan out, you become disappointed. But if you volunteer first, you're easing your way into it. So find purpose-driven work. If you find something that you're passionate about, you have purpose in, volunteer in that
first.
area first, and then move on.
Which, to be honest, I think that is true, because for me, when I work with women, I always encourage that we need to find the impact in your profitable work.
Yes.
Like, when
Yeah,
we're building
yeah.
businesses, I always ask,
How can you be impactful?
how can you be impactful?
Very important.
Where we start from a lot of times is, what is the cause that you're really, really like passionate about? Even if you can't volunteer, can you give part of your profit to it?
Yes,
and all of that.
something. Yes.
I find that for me, being a business coach, or being kind of like one of the things, I'd volunteered, I'd given so many hours
Yes.
for free
You're
before
still giving so many hours
before
sometimes.
I
We're
could build a
begging you
business,
to monetize
before
it.
I could build a business out of it. So I kind of understand what you mean by kind of like volunteer first, which, I mean, brings us the end of today's discussion. I
We
know,
could sit here talking for hours.
and
but
it's been a pleasure
Oh.
having you. I'm putting you on the spot. I'm going to continue to press your neck, by the way.
Oh,
But
please, by all means.
could you tell our viewers what your social media handles are, where they can see Go With The Flow? You're going to have to spell it out for them anyway.
Okay, so it's social media. Instagram is Go With The Flow Phases. That's what it is. And the same thing on TikTok as well. And then my own personal one will be Wellness with Sophie Gold.
So can you spell the Go With The Flow Faces? Because people go and start looking for FACES
Okay,
as the faces.
Go With The Flow Phases. PHASES.
It's the faces. So spell the whole thing.
Go, Go, Go with WITH. The THE flow, FLO, not FLOW.
You see why
there's no W.
Yeah, exactly.
FLOW, then phases, PHASES. Go with the flow phases.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
for having
Sophie,
me.
for coming.
Oh
It was a pleasure to have you today. And until the next episode is keep winning, keep building. And ladies, as you heard it here, please don't stay stuck.
Yes.
Move. You're not a tree.
Thank you. Bye.